Hi, my name is Alex. I live in this rather small farming city. We have a church on a hill and one very local grocery store, and somehow there's a Dollar General too. Life here is rather simple and easy. I wake up, I turn on my studio, and I broadcast music for the town. It's nothing special, just classic rock and some country, but I make decent money off it. One thing I noticed, our signal never goes past the town borders. My only guess is something to do with the magnetosphere, but I'm no scientist. About a year ago, around middle of August, something weird started happening. Military trucks and other large equipment started being hauled in. They took over the church as a base operations. They even put large fences and barbed wire all around it. Whatever they were doing must have been serious. Wasn't but a few days after did they start testing the air raid siren we have. Only way to really get to it was in my shed, as I owned the radio station and enough power supply to run the siren in the station if there was a blackout. So guess what the boys did? If you said annexed my station and shed, you are correct. It wasn't really a big deal. They sounded like they needed it for something. They've been paying me twice what I was making, so I'm not angry at all. So I've been staying at my little brother's and his new wife's home for the past few years. The day I moved in, it was all nice and happy. Until at exactly 1 p.m. all the military guys started corralling all the people to their homes in a rush too. They seemed scared, like the whole lot of them seen a ghost. Silly thought, I know. However, they weren't taking no's, as they were really rough with the townsfolk. Looking through the blinds, I see they were all done getting everyone home. Maybe they are running some sort of test. Well, turns out less than 10 minutes later we hear the siren go off. Stay inside and go to the nearest room without windows. If you can't, close the blinds and cover your ears and eyes. This is not a drill. Do not leave for any reason. If someone is caught leaving, they will be marked as a threat. If you hear knocks at the window or door, do not answer it, even if it's family or friends, and even if they are in a dire situation. Again, this is not a drill, and we will let you know when to come out. It goes on like this for a few hours. I was in my room, which luckily is located in the basement. I can hear someone upstairs slamming on our doors. I can hear my brother talking to his wife. We gotta check, honey. It's my friend Aaron, he said in a hushed tone. I slowly walk up the stairs and hearing his wife say, well, here, take your gun and at least be ready for anything. As I got to the top of the stairs, I creaked the door open to see what is going on. Aaron, I'm going to open the door, but you gotta run in fast, okay? I can hear a muffled 10 minutes for buddy. It wasn't Aaron. It was something deep sounding. I felt immediate fear and closed my door before they opened their front door. I heard Aaron say, and ye shall overthrow their altars, and break their pillars, and burn their groves with fire. And ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods, and destroy the names of them out of that place. After that I heard shots fire. It was my brother, I'm sure of it. His wife Sammy was screaming and tried to come into the basement with me, but I locked the door. I heard the false Aaron walk up to Sammy as she was screaming. It was then I heard the cracking of bone and twisting of flesh. Her cries went silent, and so was the home. I can hear Aaron gorging and eating them. I kept my face covered as the smell of blood wafted through the air. I can see the viscous and fresh blood of Sammy flowing through the bottom of the door. It wasn't long when I heard this thing knock at my door. I know you can hear me, child. Do not be afraid, as we are here to cleanse the sinners, leaving only the saints. You are not a sinner. You can let me in. I didn't know what to do. I was frozen, but it felt like it was speaking in my brain. The sound of horns were ringing in my head. Child, you cannot ignore me. I am all that was and will be. I know you. I uncovered my ears and checked up the stairs. I noticed the door got unlocked, so I yelled back, what did you do to my brother? What is it you want? At this point I'm nearly pissing myself in fear. Your brother and his wife committed a grave, unforgivable sin. We cannot let it slide. Let me in, child. You need not be afraid. I sat there thinking, and I slowly walked up the stairs. It felt automatic, and I couldn't stop my own movement. There is no fighting this. You are a saint. You will obey and listen. I do not know what to do at this point. What did he mean, I'm a saint? It was then I slowly started to twist the doorknob. At full force the sirens were wailing once again, and I regained my consciousness and composure. I quickly locked the door again and ran down the stairs. I can hear the thing say, we will meet again, my child. Go now on God good grace. This voice was loud and thundered in my head, leaving my ears to ring. I can only hear the siren afterward and what sounded like giant wings flapping in the distance. Civilians, coast is clear. I repeat, coast is clear. We ask you to stay in your homes so we can do some research. Please bear with us a little longer, thank you. It clicks off and the sirens start to die down. It wasn't but a few minutes when I hear, holy fuck, they got another. Search the house for survivors. I slowly opened the door and yelled, I'm alive. Please help me. It was then the door swung open as a large man pulled me into the kitchen. I found myself around 5 men armed to the teeth, point guns at me. Test him, one guy said. I was immediately shoved against the wall, and the guy testing me grabbed my arm and stuck a small needle and injected something. "What the fuck are you injecting in my arm, you nut jobs?" They all stared at me waiting for a reaction, however nothing happened. They all collectively sighed in relief, and the one that tested me said, "You're coming with us. We have to ask you some questions." I looked around and the bodies of my brother and sister-in-law weren't there. All I could see was a black ashes scattered throughout the kitchen and by the front door. "What happened to them?" I asked. They seemed to ignore my question and we walked outside. I can hear crying throughout the town. Looks like entire families were just erased out of existence. Some people never came out to look around. They are all probably scared shitless. I'm not even sure how many disappeared, but it must have been dozens. We arrive at the old church. They opened the front gate and let us in. I can see it was patrolled by drones. Everywhere I looked there was a camera and no one was stationed outside. We get inside and it looks like they removed all the pews and the altar. Countless days I spent praying with my brother in these very halls, running around the pews after hours while our father talked to the priest. I started to cry. I missed the little brother I once raised and played with, seeing all of that stripped and replaced by all kinds of machines. Cables and chairs, almost 100 different monitors, each with a person watching, hours of surveillance footage. My brother gets slaughtered like a lamb, and now this. It was way too much to handle. I broke into tears and so I shouted, "Okay, I'm here now, what the hell do you want, sir? We know this is all too much, but we have to talk to you." I calmed down. I never was confrontational, so I took a deep breath and kept following them. They led me into the basement. High-end security scanning their eyes, and looks like a robot arm came out of the wall and poked them with a needle. Must be the same stuff they used on me. We passed through the security and walked down a hallway to a room at the end. This was the pastor's room. He lived in the church, but he died a few years back. He was a good man. Feels kinda wrong going into his room. How many hours has this man poured into his community to save us in a time of sorrow? I remember it like it was yesterday. My father passed away when I was 16, leaving the radio station to me. I remember the priest here consoled me and said, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." It was a beautiful funeral. The whole town came by and hugged my brother and I. We only had each other at this point, so I made it my mission to always take care of him. I saw the photo my dad and the priest took together. He was so happy back then before mom ran off. He was hardworking and always gave his time to help others in need. A good man. I'm happy I got to know my father, and I remember talking to the priest in this room about some of the funny things about him. The memories come flooding back and I began to whelp a little. I took a deep breath in and out. I had to swallow my feelings down as I was disassociating. It was then I was asked to sit at the old oak table and to wait here. The man who escorted me here asked if I needed anything. "Oh, a Coke," I said quietly, holding my face in my hands. "Got it." The officer leaves the room. A few minutes later, someone else entered with 2 Cokes and a notepad. "Hello, Alex. I'm the leader of this opus and we have some questions about what you saw. Here, you asked for a Coke." He handed it to me. I took it, opened it and took a large gulp after I let out a sigh. "I want to know where my brother and sister-in-law are before I answering anything." The man looked me in the eyes and took his sunglasses off, and I saw his eyes. They were all white like he has cataracts. "Your brother and sister-in-law are gone. We cannot help them now." He sighed and rubbed the back of his neck. "And you survived and resisted. We need to know why." I slammed my hands on the table. "Bullshit. People don't just disappear." I can't believe the gall of you suit and tie bootlickers." He tossed a file he was holding in the notepad at me. "Read. It will explain it all." I opened the file. Inside was a series of pictures and notes. The pictures looked to be giant winged beasts of just floating eyes and wings. This was in front of my home. I started to sweat and turned to the next image. It changed shape to Aaron, and the last thing picture was it grabbing my brother's head and ripping it off. I remember dropping the pictures and throwing up on the floor. "What the fuck is that thing?" The man put his glasses back on and handed me a tissue. "It's an angel, Alex. Your brother and sister-in-law committed a sin. I'm sorry, but they are gone. We don't know where they took them, but it looks like they are just gone, with no trace but black ashes that aren't even made of carbon. It's an element we have yet to classify." I got myself together and asked, "Why are you guys wanting to talk to me then? I didn't do this." He pointed to the file and said, "Keep looking." As I was flipping through, the angel turned back to its normal form and you can see straight into the home past the kitchen to the door. I was behind, but I wasn't. I was in front of the door. I was staring at it. "Why? What the fuck? Why didn't it kill me?" The agent took the files back and said, "Few people survive this. So let's get down to the point. You are a saint. Somehow you are on a whitelist with these beings. And so far you and I are the only known ones." He sighs and says, "That's why we came here. To find you. Everyone else in this town is either gone or scared shitless. We have to make them forget everything." I grabbed my head in confusion, running my hands through my jet black hair in a feeble attempt to calm myself. "Why me?" I said quietly. I can feel my heart racing. Heat was rushing to my face. You never committed a sin and it's physically impossible for you to as well. You can continue your life here or you can choose to come with us, but in a year they will come back. I thought to myself, I got nothing left. My family is all gone and my job was taken from me. I want to stay but I feel like I'm safe with these people. Can we wait a year to see what happens? I asked shakingly. Yes, we will monitor the area, however every year on August the 16th this will happen again. We already sealed the area around the town off so no radio communications can enter or leave the area. We may ask you to come out during the event so we can monitor you. I took another large drink of my soda. Okay, I'll do it. With the idea of talking the thing that took my only family away. I was furious. Shortly after I was released and went home. It's July, nothing happened since and the missing townfolk were replaced with agents but no one other than me seemed to notice. Life has been normal and I was allowed to use my radio again. I am counting down the days till this happens again. Will I be prepared? How can I stop them? I don't know. What I know is as the days draw closer I can hear the whispering of them above. I know they are watching. Once they come down here I will know where my brother is. Until then I will keep you guys posted and please if you see my town turn back and head home. It's not worth your life.